So, even with the rise of AI, Google is still the number one search engine out there, meaning it's as important as ever to have a properly optimized Google business listing. So, in this video, I'm going to show you 5 ways to elevate your listing to help you get more leads, sales, and customers. But before I get too far into it, we post here on YouTube every Friday about marketing content. So, if you're into marketing or want to learn how to grow your business, please subscribe. I'd love to have you along for the ride. And in the description below, I'll have a link to our business page. If you want to reach out, we'd love to talk to you about how we can help you grow your business. If you do not have a Google business profile, pause this video, go to business.google.com, go sign up for a free account, and then meet us back here before I go into the tips. So tip number 1 is kind of the low-hanging fruit, and I promise the remaining 4 tips won't be a surface level, but make sure you have your complete business profile filled out. That's name, phone number, email address, hours of operations, services, every option that Google has for you to fill out information that applies to you, make sure it is filled out. It is very crucial that your profile is as fleshed out as possible, so not only your customer knows what your business is about, what your core values are about, Google and AI know what it's about as well. Now, one thing I see people do a lot with their Google listing is for their business name, they'll keyword stuff and add little snippets in there to try to trick the algorithm. Google can recognize that pretty easily and I think actively penalizes when you keyword stuff your title. So your business name, just make sure it's your actual legal business name, not your business name and then hyphen best plumber in certain area. And then we'll dive into number 2, which is having keyword-rich descriptions. Now, not keyword-stuffed descriptions. We're going to be intentional with the keywords we use. And so if you want to go to your Google Ads account, which you should be able to sign in with your Google Business Profile account, the same account, go to ads.google.com and then go to, on the left-hand sidebar, go to Tools, and then if you open the tools, it'll have a planning subcategory. Click on planning and go to keyword planning tool. You can actually go to the keyword planner. Now, keep in mind, this is a free tool and it's utilized for Google Ads, not really SEO. So some of the stuff that will show up isn't relevant for SEO, but I mean, you're welcome to pay for software if you want, but this one's free. So this is what I'm going to use for the video. All right, so once we get into the keyword planner, there's 2 options. You can either discover new keywords or get search volumes and forecasts. That one's good for ads, but we're going to get inspiration for keywords to utilize. So we're going to do discover new keywords right here and click on this. And you can type in whatever you want that relates to your industry. So let's just say we're a plumbing company in Nashville. Let's just do Nashville plumbing and see what comes up so we can get results. And what it's going to present you with is a bunch of keywords. And the purpose of us doing this is to get inspiration on the search volume for certain keywords. So like I said, this is for Google Ads. So we're not going to pay attention to competition. That is not SEO competition. That is ad competition, like how many people are buying ads for that keyword. And then these costs over here, that's again for ads. So we are really just going to pay attention to average monthly searches because that shows how much traffic there is for that specific keyword for people searching it on Google. So Nashville plumbing looks like a pretty solid option, 1K to 10K. That's a lot of search volume. Of course, it's very generic. So we can also come down here and look for more specific stuff. Here's another one, hot water heater replacement, 10K to 100K. So a lot of people are searching for that specific keyword, hot water heater replacement. So make sure you put that in your description. If you do it, it could be worth going after as opposed to the repipe specialist with only 1 to 10K. So you can kind of get the gist of how you can search for what people are searching for on Google and being able to tie those keywords that they're searching for back into your description. Also, so Google allows for 750 characters in your description, but only the first 250 are shown before there's a button that says read more. And so you want to make sure your most punchy, impactful part of the description is in the first 250 characters because people may not click to view more. The first thing is just what they're going to see before it's cut off, and some of the other text may get lost. And don't just stop at your business's main description. Each subsection should have a little description tied to it as well. And images. You can actually tie descriptions to images as well through the alt text. Number 3 is reviews. We need to optimize and figure out a way to get as many impactful reviews as possible. So reviews are great for both Google search engines and for AI search engines. So when people look at your Google reviews, they're going to look for trustworthiness. And so if you have one review and it's like 3 stars, you're not going to get much traction. But if you have let's say 20 5-star reviews, maybe a few 4 stars. And then even if you have a bad review, if you have more 5-star reviews and positive reviews, you're going to look better to your customers. It's very important when you're asking for reviews from your customers or your client to ask them at their peak happiness. And so, right when you complete the service, when they're satisfied with the results, right when they purchase the product, ask them, say, hey, can you leave us a review on Google? We would really appreciate it. And one way to really increase the conversion of customers actually leaving a review, you can create little business cards with a QR code that they can scan with their phone, and it takes them directly to the form where they can fill out the review. Also, after your customer or client or whoever leaves a review, always respond. And this is important. Do not have just like a cookie cutter automated response where every review has the same response. Where like, thank you so much. Thank you for leaving a review. You want to make sure you actually have a human's touch in responding to the review. So then reviews are not only a tool to build up your reputability, they're a tool to house keywords and further tell Google and AI what your business is about and what you have had previous success in completing. Number 4 is upload high quality visuals and video. Now, this is going to sound crazy, but you need to treat your Google business profile as if it's a social media profile. You want to add an image to it. I would say at least add 1 or 2 new images for new jobs or new products or whatever you've completed. Add 1 or 2 new images to your Google profile every week. Also, when you're uploading images, make sure you have the alt text and descriptions filled out for every photo. So alt text is the text that appears, let's say you're on a website and the images don't load because you have bad internet. If you've ever noticed text pop up instead of the image, that is the alt text. It's basically a worded out or a written out description of what that image is. What that does, it just tells Google what the image is, and it's a placeholder if it ever doesn't load in. And number 5 is constantly update your information. Things change all the time. Either you have holiday hours and you're closed certain days, or let's say you're just a family-run business and something comes up. Make sure you update on Google that your hours are closed or if anything happened. So that does 2 things. That one tells Google that you're constantly updating and monitoring your site, and also customers get really frustrated. I used to own a coffee shop, and if, let's say, something came up, like I had to go to the doctor's office and I had to close my coffee shop, if I didn't update on Google and it said open and people would show up and there was a sign on the door saying closed, we got so many bad reviews that way. And I quickly learned that if I was ever going to close the shop, the first thing I need to do is update the hours on Google. You can also get ahead on questions. There is an FAQ section. So if you notice you're getting a lot of phone calls or a lot of emails asking certain questions, create an FAQ for that question. And so people can get that answer even before they have to call. So those are 5 tips to improve your Google business listing. Ultimately, you want to treat your Google business profile as a social media profile and constantly update it, constantly show Google that you're active, show your customers that you're active, because this is what customers will often see before they even go to your website. So you've got to sell your services and your product and your Google listing before they even get to your website. So don't underestimate how powerful the Google profile is, and make it as strong and as impactful as possible.